Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it is time for many people's favorite segment, the longest lasting vlog I've had for a client, and that is Emma. So we started the week off with a closed grip floor press. She got 150 pounds. Again, that's a PR for her. So after that we did, of course, normal floor presses. Now, one of the things to remember is that she had kind of a period of time here for a few months where they were so busy. She missed a lot of training sessions, diet, sleep, and everything were not on point. So, again, she had regressed slightly, but now we have caught back up. She is back to where she was on most of these lifts, as noticed by some of these maxes. We're back to where we can start making progress again, and we're going to continue to make progress in here. And that's the thing that all lifters out there, coaches, everyone else have to remember with your clients, with yourself, everything else. Your lifters are going to have periods of time where they stagnate, where they regress because they can't do everything perfectly. You know, and when you get to a certain level, as a lifter, maintaining is not as easy as you think it is, right? It's not that easy. You have things that start going wrong, you will regress, and that's just the nature of the beast. But the beauty of it is that you can almost always get back to where you were with a bit of work. In this case, though, now we're doing chest presses still with dumbbells for her second press. We're going to be rotating that to incline. We talked about it after the last vlog I did, and looking at what her incline max was, I feel like we have a little bit of disparity between her flat and her incline pressing strength. So we're going to work incline a bit because it will probably bring her bench up further, because she wants to have a pretty good bench. We're up in that 150-ish range, 150s. She wants to get it higher. She wants a 170, 180, 185 bench, right? But it's going to take time. It's going to take time. So also on this day, we do chin-ups, we do laterals, and she's actually doing them with dumbbells this time. Historically, she's always said they feel better. Sometimes the dumbbells hold my shoulders. I prefer to do these with cables. And I let her do them with cables, but she had said dumbbells actually seem like they feel fine. She did them there with dumbbells this time. They felt good, so we'll continue to do that. So the question becomes, why laterals on her strength program? It's purely for her own vanity. She feels like she likes having delts, right? Delts have always genetically been a strong point for her as far as her strength goes, and she wants to keep them growing. She wants a little bit more delt. She likes having that look. And I, as a coach, am never going to tell one of my lifters who wants a certain look. They have one muscle that they kind of care about a little bit, even if it's not what we necessarily need for strength purposes, but they want to put some extra work in it just because they like having that muscle bigger. I'm never going to not program it in that case, if it's important to them. Now, if they're a novice, I'm going to tell them, no, you don't need to worry about that. But in the case of an advanced lifter, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So we always do some shoulder work for her. Of course, max effort lower day, we did a pause deadlift. She got a PR there, 280. 280 on a pause deadlift. I'll take that. Keeping in mind she pulls over 300 on both sumo and conventional, and we're going to test her conventional coming up here again. I'm hoping we can get a PR out of it. I think her best ever has been 315. I'm going to have her test it in a couple weeks, and I'm hoping she can get 320. All right, for accessory work, we do good mornings. We rotate bars around there. I think I'm going to rotate bars on her again here soon because she's been using that safety bar a long time. I think I'm going to throw the cambered bar back in the mix just to change things up. And we do goblet squats. And then we have her staple movements that she does pretty much year-round. Her and Michelle both. They do these pretty much every lower body session. That's glute ham raises, reverse hyperextensions, hanging leg raises. I like these lifts a lot. And again, not even talking about just men and powerlifters. I think for ladies out there, those are 3 exercises that if you have access to the equipment, you should absolutely do these. Okay, they will work wonders for you. Again, just notice my 2 most famous female clients do all 3 of these movements year-round. Okay, and there's a good reason for that. Just the posterior chain development, the lower back development, the way they develop the abs, hip flexors, these are extremely beneficial. And I say it for everyone. I do mean everyone on the face of the earth when I say that. Everyone should probably be doing these in some combination. But particularly for women, women tend to be anterior dominant. Okay, they tend to be anterior dominant. Building these muscles up will help you. They'll help you with keeping your hips and everything healthy. They'll help you keep your back healthy and everything for life. Okay. Again, this is just stuff that we've noticed, just structurally. For women who don't train, they tend to be anterior dominant. That's front side dominant, and that can put some negative stressors on your body, from top to bottom. Putting an effort into these things would be a wise idea, and of course, the look that they give. All right, over to dynamic effort upper. Speed bench is what we always do for Emma. We speed bench with bands, rotating grips for triples. Then afterwards, I'm having her do flat dumbbell presses. We're going to be changing this over for incline benching this week to get a little more upper chest and front delt. And again, playing back over to her desire to have delts, I think the incline is going to help again with that. Because again, looking at the disparity in the strength, we need these areas, right? It's only going to help her bench press. Her triceps tend to be very, very strong. She's a very tricep dominant bencher in terms of her strength. So again, pecs, the front delts, those things need to come up. They need to get stronger if she wants to continue to have her bench press go up, and she does. All right, then just like on the other day, we do chin-ups. We do lateral raises and band press downs on the triceps. Now, I may eventually take her over to other more serious tricep exercises because we do bands all the time. But thus far, I haven't had to. So by contrast, you guys will see me have, Michelle do those. But we have the case here where Emma doesn't really deal with any sort of tricep weakness. I don't always want to run the risk of a discomfort for her from something like a JM press or something like that if it's not necessary to do it. Because at this point, she's just done well with these. Her triceps are strong. They're her strongest bench press muscle. So I've not had to do any real tricep specialization for her. We occasionally have some phases where we run dumbbells, but I've never taken her to any of the really hardcore tricep exercises, like the JM press, which you see me do. A lot of times you'll see Michelle do, you'll see other lifters do. We just haven't needed them for her. Her bench goes up, and if anything, it's always pecs. It's almost always pecs or front delts that holds her back. All right, dynamic effort lower day, we do speed boxes with the safety bar with bands. We do speed conventional pulls this block with bands. All right, more safety bar good mornings. And again, I'm about to change some of her stuff up. We've been running all these things for kind of a long phase. We're going to be rotating the movements just a little bit this next block. It'll change the monotony up. We're not going to take out the staples though. What do we change? The type of good mornings we do, the type of hip hinges we do, the type of squat accessories we do. In this case, she's still doing goblet squats, and she's getting pretty strong at these. But we don't change that around until they get a belt squat machine, and that might become a staple too. But that's in the works for them. So what is it that we're doing? We're doing these, right? We rotate these accessories around, and I tend to leave in the glute ham raises, the reverse hypers, the hanging leg raises, because she does really well with them, right? And if it's not broke, don't fix it. We can adjust training stress and avoid overuse and acclimation by changing the other movements. And I would really rather change those bigger movements to some extent. Some of these other, we almost think of as peripheral type exercises, particularly the reverse hyper, you're never going to get overuse from this. It's a therapeutic exercise, right? It's just so unlikely unless you take the volumes crazy high. All we really need to do is from time to time change the modality a little bit, right? Change either the range of motion, the amount of swinging we allow, change the rep ranges, the weights. Okay, and that will get the job done. So I don't worry about it. Same thing with a glute ham raise. If we're starting to worry about overuse, we can change the rep ranges. We can add plates, we can add chains, we can add bands, we can do any of those things. So it's just much easier to change the primary hip hinge. In her case, we can do different variations of the good morning. She has multiple barbells. I could take a good morning and change a stance on it, or we can go off of pins or off of a rack. And of course, with leg exercises, we have infinite variations we can come up with. So I think next block I've already written for her, I'm going to have her do dumbbell lunges instead of the goblet squats. So, all right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.